The Ontario Mills Mall is pretty fun. It's big, a lot of stuff to do, game places, movies, a lot of women. It's a nice place to go, hang out and shop.
We've been there like 5 days ago, like just everyday shopping, spent too much money, I think, but spent a lot because in France you don't have so cheap clothing or this big one and cool, yeah, sure.
Well, outside that cool environment at the Ontario Mills Mall, it is 106 scorching degrees out here on the street course. Getting it kicked off, one of the best from Germany, Bruno Louve.
All right, we got Bruno Lowe coming in here. He's my teammate, Team Senate. Of course you know he's going to get sick just for that reason. Look of confidence on his face. This guy gets sick. Huge flat spin 360 over the box. Launch up. He's getting ready for something huge here. All right, into the transition. Perfect. Fakey flat spin 360 over the spine. Backside royal, flat and up and into the transition. Very difficult. Coming in, true spin fish braid. Oh, almost had it. Very difficult trick. Soul grind across. Oh, body shuffle to soy out. The first little shuffle of the body makes it so much harder. Soy out, in fakey to the transition. Looks like he's about done. Maybe one more. Bruno Lowe with a sick run.
Bruno, one of the strongest street skaters around because of the subtleties that he does out here. Shuffling the body, locking on, no problem. And that run, good enough right now for a 75.75, a pretty solid first run score.
Mike Budnick takes a different approach to competition skating than most of the FP guys, whereas the FP crews seem not to care too much what it takes to get into the finals. Mike Budnick has it pretty much down to a science.
And nobody's perfected that science better than this guy. Matt Salerno didn't become the winningest skater in the world by not figuring out what and unnatural, solid first score.
Blake Dennis, always a top competitor, another Australian. He's trying to work his way back to the top of the world rankings. Suffered an ankle injury last year, trying to recover from that. Put on a strong showing here, good enough for 5th place.
Yo, what's going out? Big shots out to future prospects, right? The battles is going down. This is Big Black Silver, the Navigator, 2,000 Crows, Black Forest. My man, Cool Keith, the one and only, you know what I'm saying? Y'all better lock it down, you know what I'm saying? The universe is my
Southern California is the birthplace of hardcore street skating. When we get back, we're going to take a look at all the pros getting into that spirit.
Welcome back to the ASA Pro Tour and Ontario Mills Mall. It doesn't matter what your style is or what kind of culture you got going on in the streets. Whether you're Josh Petty, Mike Budnick, Sven Bokerst, or anybody else, there's a lot to do here in the mall. And of course, it's also the home of GameWorks.
Another beat short shot.
Future Prospects is a group of kids created by Joe Navarone. It's about people that like all hang out even outside of skating, and even if there wasn't skating, they'd probably be friends, even though they met through skating, but even after skating, they'll probably be friends and stuff. I mean, it's a cool crew.
I have no comment on that.
No comment.
Future Prospects. It's a bunch of guys that chill together in an apartment and skate. They're a bunch of friends. I'm not so-called in Future Prospects, but I'll kick it with them.
Aren't they the skaters, the younger punks?
Another beat junkie, short shot. Another beat junkie, short shot. Another beat junkie, short shot. Dilate, T-Love, Visionaries, Urbanites, from the ground up. Where's one?
From the ground up, we round up, cruise to get pound up, wound up, puffed up, tell them all what's up. Tough luck, ran them up, open up a can of suck, you must have had a 12-pack, that's why you got held back. I felt that, we propel rap with some detailed facts. Hey, we sell rap, this ain't no wolf, ticket wolf, that it should get evicted. He did what? The whole conversation got shifted. We unwrap the gifted, shake up the timid, lose a save, give fear to the brave with a friendly wave, or a premature grave. You make the call, walk the path that you pave. Engrave, math, subtract, add the division. Multiply fractions, equal one decision. One mind, one cause, all applause, no flaws. associates, hold tight. Be a cold night in Heat Town, the beat down will take place. Overground is over now. Continental bound, LA cracks codes. UDA, plus we pack shows with no delay. From the ground up. 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 My brother, my sister, my brother, my name is T-Love. Be cracking 40s with your mother. My sister, my brother, my sister, the name is Ira Science. I'm a whirlwind twister. Now can you picture lyrical scriptures all rolled up in an empty bottle of malt liquor? Floating a drifter, all my sisters. Be girls, be back, be boys, best be lit. I tell fools, you know I wanna watch the news.
Joe and I, we started FP a while ago. You know, we're just friends, and we go out and just try to push the sport. And we're not whack, so I mean, we just try to make everything as cool as we can and live our lifestyle.
Well, back on the street course at over 106 degrees, you'd think that everybody would hold back a bit, but they did the opposite, really pushing it. Randy Marino went for some stunts he knew he could pull, and some that were virtually impossible.
This was the true spirit of the finals competition, whether it was at the end of the run, like Randy here, as he goes over the entire launch box trying to lock on Soul, or whether it was in the middle of the run if they missed a trick and they just kept going for it until they pulled it. Terry Lallemont over that stunt rail right there in the middle of the course. Only a few guys were using that rail, Terry Lallemont among them.
Everything he did was to perfection, grinding all the way off of the ledge, super high. Speaking of high, of course, Matt Salerno starting his run on the highest point he could find, jumping into a tiny little transition.
And then balancing it out with a little bit of style 360 into the start ramp, then 360 the other way over the launch box. Darren Grove throwing those horns, the monster. Start out with a monstrous 900, something we've gotten used to seeing, never get tired of it. And then look at this, something new from Jaron. Wall ride, why? Trying to drop down true spin, alley-oop soul. And then coming back the other way, alley-oop soul across that high vert wall, faking 360 back in.
Sam Fogarty, he really embodied what everybody was trying to do out here, going for the huge launch 720. He missed it, but instead of taking the rest of his run, he said, forget it, I'm going to go for even a bigger trick, the huge 900. Just missing, but hey, one more.
Showing some real determination.
Yeah, and just missed on the landing. Sam Fogarty rewarded for his efforts. Sven Bokerst, he's known for being the most consistent skater out here, but he also goes super huge.
Yeah, that was about a 10-foot gap. The only one doing that from quarter pipe to quarter pipe, and then finishing it off in the true spirit of street skating, faking 360 alley-oop soul.
So everybody's chasing Bruno Louvet. Jaron Grove and Matt Salerno tied for third. And Sven Bokerst, looking for that number one spot, sits in seventh. When we come back, one of the most controversial in the sport, Josh Petty, and of course, more of the street.
The future prospects influence a lot of the trends in rollerblading. In fact, they've made it kind of a personal mission to protect and guide the image of our sport. A lot of people don't agree with their vision for rollerblading. I guess you could call it controversial. And if there's one guy who captures the essence of what future prospects is all about, it's Josh Petty.
Yeah. It's Mike Myers, the Hitchcock of hip-hop. About to get down and dirty with it. Carson. My chrome be my chaperone wherever I roam. If you wanna test it, it's on the spot of your dome. Rat-a-tat-tat and you're gone, it's how it be. See, rapping is all in my blood, inside of me. If you steppin' with a weapon, there's a 50-50 chance. If you live, you'll be pissing in your pants. If you die, you be chillin' in the casket, wearing a tuxedo. Labels f*** you, but they can't f*** me though. Strictly indie, this ill boogie, y'all. Been seeing things different since I've been 20, y'all. Serve any of y'all that they put in front of me. See, they hard until I step up, then they run for me. This Mike Myers is much more than a man. Hawk machine with a mic attached to my hand. This like Schwarzenegger when he was the Terminator. My mic is an AK loaded with words to spray it with Joe. Who am I?
A few years ago, me and my friends Randy and Louie, we decided that we'd want to branch away from Senate and maybe do our own thing. We knew the guys over here, so we decided we should get together, collaborate, and make something happen.
This is
Chris here, the warehouse manager. Product, second regime.
Bad news, I'm here to smash fools. Mike has got more nuts than cashews. You suck like vacuums and your crew's whack too. After getting served on the mic, you might get smacked too. I dust off men often like Hoffman. Putting trash niggas to sleep in coffins. You lost in the shuffle with the way to step out. Can't take the heat in the kitchen and you get the heck out as the world turns. As another lesson to learn. My style is too hot, so I bet you get burned. If I let you get a turn, will you bust tight? I notice the way you've been peeping my style, you must fight. Touch Mike, never that. You gotta come a little better, fresher than that. Sever your back, take out your spine. Now you're spineless, rhymeless. Cause Mike Myers' music's timeless. Yo, who am I? I'm the illest thing you find. The model that I live by is suicide. Testing me line for line.
Skating and stuff, but then you go to the street competition, and there's not one thing you've skated on the street isn't even there, you know?
Josh, dude. He walks around, dude, he's a nice guy. He's a real nice guy, but he's got this ball of anger, dude. And when shit's unleashed, dude, it just goes crazy, and that's how it is.
God!
You know, just the wackest people win every weekend, and it just makes it look like that's all that rollerblading is. That's all that people see, and they don't know anything about, like, the real like, street skaters. You know, my hips are all busted, had operations on my knees, you know. And just sometimes you just wonder, like, if it's really worth it or not. But, you know, at the end of the day, you come back and you figure that it's all worth it.
Back on the street course. Round number 2 is about to get underway, and Jeremy Keaney, who's gotten 2 second-place finishes already this season, coming out blazing.
Blazing is right. Huge 720 to start out. Alley pornstar all the way around into the bowl, coming back, headed for that big wall ride. Jeremy Keaney knows what it takes. He's always right there at the top. Like you said, taking all those second place finishes, trying to figure out what it's going to take to get him into that #1 spot.
Jeremy's the most improved street skater from 1999. Came back this season, and he's actually even more improved. There, the negative Mizu all the way down. That's the type of trick that he learned in the off-season to come back and surprise the judges.
Jeremy's got a nice mixed bag of tricks, technical grinds, big airs. Now, in practice, earlier, Jeremy was trying that fakie backflip. He's the only one on tour doing this trick, but he fell right on his head. He stopped halfway through. I think that roll-in messed him up a little bit. He's not used to his speed. Curious to see if he's going to try it here in the finals.
Well, setting up backwards. Up and over, no problem.
Wow. Saw how high he went, how far down he landed. That roll-in really gives him a lot of speed. Like I said, he was having trouble with it in the practice and prelims, but no trouble there as he goes alley top side, fakie 360 back in. Super run from Jeremy Keaney. Awesome. Take a break, Jeremy. You earned it. That was a great run from Jeremy Keaney. Watch this. Watch how high he is. Throws it. He sees almost overcompensating for his shortcomings earlier. Really jerking that thing around.
And that put him in first place. That puts a lot of pressure on this guy, Blake Dennis. He's so capable of winning competitions. It's just been a long time since he's been on the Pro Tour.
Yeah, he's been contending with those ankle injuries. We'll see him back in the winner's podium soon enough, but right now, just good enough for 5th place.
Chilling with my man M Boogie. That's right, delayed it full project, and I'm out.
When we come back, Jaron Grubb the Monster versus the Quiet Assassin.
Professional salon products. Got a problem? See your hairstylist. By Naya. Hungry for life, thirsty for Naya. And for the latest on skating, check out asaskate.com. Feed your habit.
Be sure to be with us when the ASA Pro Tour moves on to sunny Hermosa, California for the best vert competition so far this season and on street.
You step outside and get blooded. Take it out,
The mission of Future Prospects, to be the best crew out there, untouchable.
We do whatever we want, whenever we want, for my boys, you know?
Bruno Louvet out of Germany, time for his second street run. Had an excellent first round in the finals, starting out that stale backflip. And this is one of the stunts of the tour. Wall ride to fakie. He spent a lot of time trying to get that trick, paid off there in the finals, but his first run was his better run. And Sven Bokers really came down to a battle between Sven and Jaron here in the finals. These guys have been dueling it out all weekend long, qualifying first and second out of the prelims. Sven Boker's trying to pick up that second victory. Right on the heels of Aaron Feinberg in the Pro Tour rankings.
And Arlo, there was the huge gap that you were talking about earlier where he instead of going up the rail, he went tranny to tranny about 10 feet over.
Yeah, the only guy doing that. And then flat spin 360 up and over the spine. Sven Boker's putting together another strong run. Of course, we don't expect anything less. Alley-oop Soul down the rail.
It's funny, but you see Sven out here in black jeans and a black t-shirt, you know, in case he wasn't hot enough.
Tribute to Jaron Grove, or maybe he's trying to send out a message. I can beat you at your own game. Jaron, of course, always wears all black. Backside Farfignugan all the way across that flat ledge box.
Wow, great style on that. He didn't waste 1 inch just going all the way across the box.
Yeah, not wasting an inch of this course either. Hitting every single obstacle out there as you go sweat stance. And then alley-oop Macchio. Sven Bokers, he knows how to put a run together. He hits every single ramp, puts so many tricks in it. He's got the big tricks like the 720 where he gets upside down. And of course, he's got all the technical tricks as well.
77.50, that puts him in first. It may have not looked so insane at the end of the run, but he just racked up tons of points throughout. Jaron now looking to up the ante one more time.
Yeah, did you say look insane? That was Jaron Grove's cue to get into the course. Incredible. That's something you can do for a best trick comp. Jaron puts it in the middle of his run. He goes wall ride, then drops true spin, alley-oop soul. Coming back through the spine portion, getting a little squirrely there on the second spine, but setting up no problem. Alley-oop soul, fakey 360. Jaron Grove is killing it. Exciting run. You see him pumping his fists, getting into the music. He always skates to Slayer. Oh no. Almost going out of the course, trying to lock on alley fishbrain across the ledge box. We saw Sven go across that box, backside Farfignugan, no problem. Jaron trying to raise the ante. Alley-oop soul, those falls are going to hurt him. I tell you what, he's got an exciting run going here, but Sven did not have a single mistake.
Creative there, jumping up, little wall ride on the ESPN sign. Now heading around the bowl.
Look at how fatigued he looked. You see him grimacing. Oh, paying the price. You can tell he's tired there. He looks absolutely exhausted. Those slur panels in his jeans seem to be not helping out, not doing the job.